Yo, what up YouTube? It's your boy Young Twan. Welcome back to my channel for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down this Don Toliver Travis Scott type of sample that I created. It's very analog and vintage. It kind of sounds like something that could be on Don Toliver's latest album. So yeah, without further ado, let me take you guys through it and show you the creative process. So I'm in the project right now and here's how it's looking. So I first started with this Analog Lab Amadeus preset from a known analog bank. And this is what it sounds like with no effects. These are the chords I laid down. So very simple, nothing crazy. So for the plugins, I added this plexi tape from Audio Already with the Traveler preset. I added a back mask, messing with the mix, turning down the mix knob to like almost all the way down. I added this Physian preset. I don't actually think it's doing anything to it. I just have it there because I forgot to delete it. I have an EQ cutting the lows out and a good Hertzwald control with a good cassette preset where I'm taking down the color and taking up the saturation knob. And it sounds like this now with the effects. So as you can see, it has a bit more body and it sounds a bit more vintage, has some of the highs taken out. So next thing I did, I went into Arcade and I went into this Alien Blues library and I played this note right here. So yeah, I just wanted to get like a top line sound, like a lead sound. So I added an EQ cutting this frequency right here. I added a reverb intensity from Arturia with this lo-fi room preset where I turned down the dry and wet knob a little bit so it wasn't as present. I added this Murder Melodies with this preset right here. I added a reverb spring from Arturia, so spring reverb with this Gibbs room preset. It gives it like a really type of cool kind of, effect. I added this effect reg that I ended up taking off, an EQ cutting the lows out, and another EQ like just taking down some of these frequencies right here. And this is what it sounds like with the effects. So yeah, again, just trying to reach that kind of like vintage emulation type of sound. And then one of the last things I did, I went into Analog Lab and I picked this Dreamland preset and I just copied and pasted the same chords from the original melody, and this is what it sounds like now without any effects. So then I added some effects to it. I added a halftime. I added this plugin called the Orb. It just kind of gives it like a cool feeling. I forget what it does, but it just does something tough. I added a Guitar Rig 6 just to add some more modulation and stuff. An EQ that's not doing anything, and then another EQ that's cutting these lows out and some of these frequencies right here. And this is what it sounds like now. That's tough, that's tough. So that's actually not it. I ended up adding this automation on the halftime for this last melody, the Dreamland Analog Lab preset, and I'm gonna show you guys what it does. So I drew in this halftime automation just to kind of add a bit more variety and a bit more flavor to the sample. So if I play without the automation, this is what it sounds like. So when you hear it like that, it's as if the halftime is just on, like it's just a standard halftime. But what I did, I automated this smooth knob right here. So it changes from the swell modes to like the percussion mode and other modes. So when you listen to it now with the automation, this is what it sounds like. It just adds a bit more texture and stuff that you wouldn't be able to play out. Then finally what I added this percussion loop from this only one percussion kit. I routed it to mixer track 3 and I just added a couple plugins. I added a Fab Filter EQ with a bandpass narrow cutting some of the highs and some of the lows. Another EQ cutting the lows out. A reverb spring, like a spring reverb from Arturia with this Gibb large preset, and a reverb intensity. Now in this reverb, there's actually like no decay at all. It just adds a cool little texture to the sound, and this is what it sounds like. I like to add percussion loops in my samples just because it adds more of a rhythm and movement in the sample. Then I ended up rendering the lead sound and adding a couple of effects to it. I just added a shaper box with a pan automation and a width automation, just to, again, add a bit more movement and just have it as a standout component. And then pretty much I just bounced it all out. I just rearranged it like how you see it, and then I just bounced it all out and routed it to this mixer track 9 and added these final effects. So this is the equivalent of like a master chain. So I first added this Goodhurst wow control with the good cassette preset, turning up the color and the saturate knob up. Then I added the spin plugin. I always like to use this plugin with the default preset, but I turned down the mix down to like 9%. I then added a Waves J37 with the aquarium preset, and I turned down the mix to like 20%. I added an EQ cutting some of the lows out, and finally added a pre-child compressor from Waves just to kind of glue it all back together and kind of compress it a bit more. And finally, this is what the sample sounds like. Oh, I forgot to say, I pitched it down 300 cents, and yeah, this is what it sounds like. So yeah guys, that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the sample. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Run up my IG, link will be down in the description. Let me know what you guys would want to see in the next videos in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.